Hey on, so we're going to look at your ground strokes. Your forehand for the most part looks really good. We just need to focus a little bit more on your backhand side, okay? So we'll play a few just at normal pace and then slow-mo. Okay, perfect. So we'll go ahead into the slow motion part. Like I said, your forehand looks pretty good. I don't really have anything I could say about it. Looks really nice. So we'll focus on your backhand. Alright, so first of all, preparation for your backhand. Alright, how do you move to the ball? So you shuffle, do you split step? Alright, so I want to see a little bit more of a split step. Alright, but let's look at your take back now. Alright, so on your forehand, if you look at your forehand, your racket is perpendicular with your arm. So you want your racket pointed to the ground instead of pointed that way. Alright, so you want to make it circular and symmetrical to your forehand take back. Alright, so moving along, you transfer your weight, and your weight's kind of going this way, but you want to try to step forward and get your weight transferring towards your target. So you want your foot a little bit more right here instead of where it currently is. Alright, that'll help you get more power towards your target. Alright, so moving along. Alright, so what I want to see a little bit more of is when you take your racket back, you need to drop the head below the level of your wrist so that you can generate a little bit more of an arch and generate a little bit more topspin on your backhand. Okay, and now let's go ahead and move forward. Your contact point is pretty good. You contact the ball way in front, which is really nice. The last thing I want you to kind of look at is your finish. You open your shoulders a little too much instead of keeping your shoulders closed. Alright, so when I roll the footage forward, look at how you finish. Okay, so your arms are kind of like a T, and it's almost like you're going to give your opponent a hug. But you want to keep your shoulders turned a little bit longer. You should basically be facing the camera instead of facing the net. Alright, so we'll do another backhand. So skipping your forehand. Alright, so we'll recap. Make sure your racket is up and down when you take it back. And right before you swing, you need to drop your racket head a little bit lower so that it's below the level of your wrist. Okay? What I do like to see is your knees are bent a lot, alright, which is good. Alright, and like I said, your contact point is perfect, way in front, and your racket arm is fully extended, which is very nice. The one thing we need you to work on is just to keep your shoulders closed when you finish, because you open up too fast. Alright, so this is too far. The point you should finish it at is kind of like this. So when you finish, your racket should be pointed up and your shoulders should be closed and turned facing the camera instead of facing the net right there. Okay, so we'll do one more for good measure so you can see. Alright, so we'll skip your forehand again and look at your backhand. Your footwork looks good. Alright, so we need your racket up and down. Alright, we need to drop your racket lower. Contact is good, and keep your shoulders turned instead of opening them up. Alright, so just focus on that backhand, making sure the racket is up and down when you move, and right before you hit, drop the racket head and keep your shoulders turned when you finish. Alright, so let's just make those 3 changes when we drill and practice.